Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station. I'm Graham O'Brien, and some of the stories coming up in today's news. Mayor Rees leads by example. Airport CEO discusses equipment move. Council wants public opinion, and much more. Early bird Nelson Mayor Rachel Rees was up with the Sparrows enjoying a walk on Wednesday morning to open the Waimea Road shared pathway in front of a crowd of around 40 people who enjoyed the ceremony and free breakfast, which kicked off at 8 a.m.
Nelson does a fantastic job of connecting people for walking and cycling. This little strip here, we've done some counting on it, and there's about 500 people a day who have been coming and going along this part of Bishopdale. With this connection, I can see us potentially doubling or tripling that number in a very short space of time. We're aspirational as a city. We already have the most people walking and cycling to school in New Zealand, but we want to do more. So our objective is by 2018 to have 25% of people walking and cycling to school, and I think we've got a really good shot at getting that. It's great to see so many school children here from the schools across Nelson. Broad Green, Nelson Intermediate, Enniglyn, who are all here, Victory, coming and going along this part of the cycleway every day. So I think you're really going to enjoy it. I encourage everyone, no matter what age you are, to get out there and give it a go, because this gradient is actually pretty good. If you're a learner cyclist, this is a pretty good stretch to have a go at. Walkers, it's a really nice link, I have to say, for me for walking around when I go on my little trail around here. And the nice thing about walking and cycling is, like this morning as I charged up here, is you get to smell the flowers. Have to say the jasmine, the mock orange and everything are pretty good at the moment. You get to talk to your fellow Nelsonians and get to know them. Your dogs get to meet each other, and it's generally a pretty good experience. So well done to everyone involved in this. I want to acknowledge the New Zealand Transport Agency. Do we have someone here today, Mark? Well, I'm sure they send good wishes to us, because I have New Zealand Transport Agency are right beside us to achieve our objective of the most active community in New Zealand, and they help fund this project. So 50% of the funding has come from central government, and that's a show of support for us as a council and the work that we're doing. So go well, enjoy being out and about. Remember to say hello. It's always important to say hello. Remember those bells and that little bit of, if you're moving around on the cycleway, just have a good time, enjoy the experience, and kids, don't be late for school, okay? Or I'll be in trouble with your parents.
Nelson Airport has come under fire from the Monaco residents about the airport's plan to relocate airport navigation equipment to an area that has been owned by the airport company for decades, sited opposite the airport on the peninsula. Residents say the move will cause an industrialisation of Monaco area. Nelson Airport Company CEO Rob Evans spoke to Chrissy Small about the concerned residents and the process that was followed.
Rob, you're looking at altering the airport. That's really exciting for the community, for the whole region actually, but some people haven't been too excited by some recent news regarding the navigation equipment that you have to move. Can you tell us a bit about why that has to go?
Yeah, I appreciate that as been a little sensitive subject for some of the nearby residents. If you look at the map, there is a piece of navigation equipment in here, which is called a DVOR, and actually, although it's quite a small piece of equipment, we're unable to build anything in that area there. So that's a 7-hectare piece of real estate that which we're unable to actually develop. And when we look at the terminal area and the constraints with the hangars and the terminal itself and car parking, there's very little area where we can grow and develop. So that's one of the reasons why we want to move it out and so the airport can expand under its master plan down that area.
Right, and of course that is going to be moved over to this area here, somewhere in here?
No, this is the area here that the airport owns at the end of the runway strip, so it has to be no development can occur on here above certain heights because of the runway, so we can move what is a relatively a low height object and put it into a piece of land that we own over here.
Okay, there aren't any houses around there, are there?
Not for a couple of 100 metres on either side of the development.
Now, I believe you're going to try and put this more into the ground. Is that right? So it'll be more underground than above ground?
Yeah, that's correct. So if those of you know the peninsula here, this is a raised hill, and we actually excavate a hole out, and the equipment actually will sit inside the hole. There are some elements of it that will protrude above. They need to be clear of any constraints for the aircraft, but other than that, most of the equipment will sit inside the hole.
It's kind of perfect. It'll be almost opposite the runway itself.
Yeah, it has to be on this side of the runway, and so the centre line is there. We can't go over the centre line due to it's a very technical piece of equipment and due to the aircraft flight path. But yeah, so we think it's a reasonably good use of some land that's otherwise not much use to the airport. Okay,
now so residents of Manako are concerned. So what's the story? Have you met with them, and if you did, how did that go?
Yeah, some of them are, and some of them have been very supportive too, that we've spoken to. So we have met a group who would like to see some improvements to the site. And so what we're talking about at the moment is beautification of the area, maybe even the whole peninsula area that we own there, and just mitigating the visual effects of the equipment when it goes in. So we've had a couple of meetings now, and we continue to work through with the community to make sure that we do our best to mitigate the impacts of it.
Right. So really, I know they felt that there was a lack of consultation, but how long has the airport actually owned this land on the Manako Peninsula?
Oh, look, I couldn't tell you that. I'm not quite sure of that answer. A number of years, but I think, to be fair, that was probably right. We probably could do a bit better in some of the communication around what we want to do in terms of the whole of the airport. So we're very keen to keep an ongoing engagement around not just this, but other developments in our master plan, and that's been developed now, and it's got a few more months' work left to do. But I think we should be consulting with all our neighbours and letting them know what we're up to. Right.
Okay, Rob. Well, gosh, you've got a lot on your plate, haven't you? I see. When do the actual work start to begin on this?
Well, if you walk through the airport today, there's 4 separate construction sites going on, and that's just in temporary. So there's just so much going on and getting ready for new airlines, changes of current infrastructure. But in terms of the new terminal, that's got about another 8 to 10 months of design left. And so there's a fair bit of design work to be done before we actually build. So we've got to meet some current demands, and we're working through those at the moment.
Right. What about the Resource Management Act and council giving the approval for these to go ahead? Has that been any obstacles in there at all?
Look, we're working through that. In fact, we had meetings yesterday with council on the review, and we're very keen to get a win-win approach, and they've been very supportive. So we're working in that process. It's pretty technical as well. We haven't any issues to date, but certainly there's some future plans that we'd like to be able to address, and some of them are longer term, and some I think from our perspective just need a bit of a tidy up too. And I think the council agree that we could tidy up some of our rules and designations around the airport.
Right. Okay, Rob, well, you certainly have got a lot to think about. Yes, and there are people. There's a man just going past with a piece of jib before. You've got it all happening. Is this going to interfere at all with the everyday running of the airport?
No, everything we do is to try and ensure that that lessens the impact. Of course, there are impacts. The Air New Zealand are upgrading Corrie Lounge, so that's closed at the moment. Obviously, that's an impact, but they've got some processes in place for their customers, but what we're doing is really to meet the growth in the short term. We've got immediate growth with the new airlines and Jetstar starting on 1st of December. So some of the work's around that, and then there's obviously the long-term planning which we're doing as well. So it's a real-time action.
Does this mean a pay rise?
No, it doesn't actually, but if they're listening. No, it's just part and parcel of what we do. It's exciting, and everyone's really enjoying it. I think the management and staff are really enjoying the challenges, and we've got a lot on, but it's exciting times.
Yeah, it is certainly an exciting time to be involved, isn't it? Well, thank you very much, Rob. It's looking good, and I'm looking forward to seeing some new airlines here.
Thanks very much, Chrissy. No problem.
Nelson City Council is keen to gather suggestions from the community about how to best manage the region's natural and built environment as it starts the process of reviewing Nelson's resource management plan. Council wants to know from the public what they value most about Nelson and what they would like to see changed. I asked Councillor Brian McGurk to tell us more about the process. Councillor Brian McGurk, we've got this in the letterbox the other day, Let Us Know How to Grow. It's a great name for it. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on in the city?
Right. This is to do with a review of the Nelson plan. Currently Nelson has 3 plans. It has the Nelson Resource Management Plan, which deals with buildings and roads and the other stuff. There's the Regional Policy Statement, which deals with our regional council responsibilities, and the Nelson Air Quality Plan. What we're wanting to do is roll all those 3 documents into one document called the Nelson Plan, so they actually talk to one another. We're now going through the stage of trying to inform what should be in the Nelson Plan. A lot of the stuff we've got now is still good, but this is a really great opportunity for the community to tell us what they want to see in the city in the years to come. You know, they're talking the 10 years out, 20, 30, 40, 50 years out. So this is a great opportunity just to tell us, people to tell us what they would like to see in the plan. And it's an extra step we've put in before we actually go out to consultation and notification of the plan.
Okay, so people are going to submit. We'd like to see something in the city, and it'll come to you guys, and that'll be looked at.
Yes, this will come to our planning group. For instance, the quality of life survey that Nelson City Council did last year put water pollution as one of the top concerns in terms of people's concerns about the city. People may have a view about heritage buildings. They certainly will have a view about what the landscape and the amenity value of the city looks like. They might have a view about where the city should develop, what sort of buildings should be there. We need to think about the hazards. We need to think of earthquake, climate change, sea level rise, that type of thing.
Yep.
All matters that we need to consider.
Good. So people get in there, and you've got till the end of November.
Yeah, we're doing this. So this is just basically right through November, but it's not exclusively. There's just an opportunity to just inform the process.
Yep.
And we'll go out to notification. We're still looking at notification, probably the middle of next year.
Great. And the more people that have a say,
the better informed it will be.
Great. Brian McGee, thanks very much.
Thanks, Graham.
Cheers. Council will be collecting feedback via its website. New Zealand Fish and Game has come out applauding the new charitable foundation that the Cawthron Institute has set up to help improve New Zealand freshwater quality. I spoke to Wellington-based Fish and Game Council CEO Bryce Johnson for his opinion on this new development. Cawthron has launched a new charitable foundation to help improve New Zealand water quality. What effects do you feel this will have for New Zealand's fresh water?
Well, I think it's excellent. It'll add more attention and focus on the need for good science. I mean, we've already got a fair bit, but it's good that they're doing that. Cawthron has a very good history in being involved in water issues, so I think more power to it. It's good to see.
Yeah, and they're here in Nelson with us. Fresh water and river and streams, it's all usually the domain of government. How do you feel about a charitable foundation having to pick up the ball on this?
Well, it's meant to be the domain of government and regional councils. Increasingly what we find in New Zealand, though, is that it's the environmental groups that are the major advocates for clean environments, and certainly around the water space. Fish and Game and the Ecologic Foundation, Forest and Bird, the Environmental Defence Society, Whitewater New Zealand. These are the big groups that do most of the standing up for water quality in New Zealand, not the government. The government tends to be very focused on what they can use water for in terms of economic growth, but less focused on its intrinsic values. And so, it's unfortunate but that's the way it is. So, we're really pleased that another group wants to step into this space and help us be active.
Yeah, and a group with a lot of science behind it.
Absolutely, and that is a strong point that Cawthron are providing here. As I say, they have a very good history in this whole area, and it's absolutely great to see them coming together under this trust.
And just speaking of science, do you feel there's enough scientific evidence for the government to act decisively on our waterways, or do we need more reports or more information?
You raise a really good point, because there is a lot of science out there, and that's always been a frustration we and a lot of the other environmental groups have, that there's a huge amount of science that simply doesn't really get implemented. The easy out for a development interest is to call for more science, when the frustration we have is, well, why on earth don't you damn well just implement all the science we already know? That said, the stuff that the Cawthron Institute do is adding good top-end value to that science, and that's why we need to keep it.
Bryce, I understand that the government's bottom line is that all rivers should be at least wadeable. Is this really acceptable to fish and game and New Zealanders on the whole?
No, of course it won't be. I mean, what it basically means is if you wade in the river and you fall in and get a mouthful, you'll probably get crook. And I mean, Kiwis don't want that. They want their rivers to be swimmable, fishable, and safe for food gathering. And that's a little phrase that's been now around for a long time. So it's rather surprising the government came up with that. I think the wadeable line is essentially intended to create more or allow more headroom for greater land use intensification of the likes of dairying, where of course you get a lot of environmental consequences. So no, it is a very false position and wouldn't be embraced by people at all. There's been universal rejection of that by the environmental community.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to just wade in it, do we? We want to swim in it, fish in it, and have fun with our families.
Well, exactly. That's exactly right. And most New Zealanders see that as part of their birthright. And so it really is a cop-out just going for wadeability. That's up for review now in the government's proposed review of the National Objectives Framework, which is where that particular attribute has been proposed. Well, it's current now, and I think that will be attacked significantly as the debate unfolds.
Great news.
And incidentally, it's also an issue where the likes of this charitable trust, the Cawthron Trust, could get really engaged in that because they have the science to show what needs to happen.
Sure. Last one, Bryce. We've got Nick Smith, MP here, and he's the Minister of Environment in Nelson. If you could, what would you like to say to Nick about this on this subject?
Well, I mean, I think the strength of the institute, the organisation, the charitable trust that's been set up, is a focus on science. Now, the Blue-Greens policy, which Nick was one of the leaders of, actually says as one of its principles that good science is essential to quality environmental decision-making. So my challenge to Nick would be to give the commitment that, in fact, science will inform all of these decisions and that we won't get bogged down with the rhetoric that we need more science. We've got an awful lot of science now, and our challenge to Nick is to commit to implement what we already know, and then by all means add the likes of the stuff that comes from Cawthron onto the top of that where it's relevant.
Bryce Johnson, thanks very much for all that, and thank you very much on behalf of the community of trying to keep our rivers nice and safe for us.
Good on you. All the best. Thanks very much.
Thank you. And finally, Nelson is to launch this year's White Ribbon Day Riders South Island Tour on Tuesday next week. White Ribbon is an annual event to highlight issues around domestic violence. The ride will set off from Zumo Coffee House near Anzac Park at 9:30 a.m. on November the 17th. There will be free coffee from 8 a.m. for all those who come in and sign the White Ribbon Pledge. Patriots Defence Force Motorcycle Club has been involved with the White Ribbon Ride since it first began in 2008. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more. Jacob.
120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour.
We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time.
Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546-4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Edward Gibbon, the bathroom specialist, have a great range of bathroom ideas at their showroom at 23 McGlashan Ave in Richmond. Call in and check out some of the latest bathroom designs and fittings. Edward Gibbon, the bathroom plumbing and drainage supply specialist, 23 McGlashan Ave, Richmond.
Broad Green Rose Day is on this Sunday the 15th from 11 AM until 3 PM at Broad Green Historic House at 276 Nayland Road, Stoke. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for Mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms Mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
Welcome me hearties to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Here at Yes Shop, we love the word yes.
Yes.
We say yes to kitchenware. We say yes to beauty. We say yes to homewares. We say yes to fashion. We say yes to electronics.
Yes to Philips. Yes to Dell. Yes to Apple.
Happy Cool, Glad, Goldia, Huron and thousands of other products in our store.
Yes!
Say yes to TV shopping that's all about fun, made right here in New Zealand with Kiwi presenters like me.
Yes! Say yes to the ultimate service.
With dedicated presenters taking the product out of the box and showing you how it works.
And what it can do for you. Say yes to our international buying power. That lets us bring you the best bundles at the best bargains.
All from the comfort of your own home.
24 hours a day.
So what are you waiting for?
There's nothing quite like it.
Come with me.
Say yes to Yes Shop.
Yes!
It's a big one tonight, but please don't hold me tight. We can dive for the ocean, thinking all your nightmares come true. It's a strange way to prove you're alright.
Edward Gibbon, the bathroom specialists, have a great range of bathroom ideas at their showroom at 23 McGlashan Ave in Richmond. Call in and check out some of the latest bathroom designs and fittings. Edward Gibbon, the bathroom plumbing and drainage supply specialists, 23 McGlashan Ave, Richmond.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Nelson Tire Center. Great prices, great service. Buy your own Bryford trailer. All types, all sizes. See Colin Douglas for your tires and batteries.